video. I'm going to record. Welcome everybody to our Sunday night training. We're going to talk about applying what we learned last week with setting your goals, and now we're going to kind of apply that with your teams and getting to the point where we can project rank advancements. And what projecting means is looking at your points and seeing, is it a logical possibility, and is it also a good thing to strive for? So looking at your points and saying, okay, I'm getting close to gold. It is a good goal to have this next month to push for gold, versus trying to push for a rank and really not having the people or the points to get there, because that just leads to frustration. So I'm going to share my screen because I made a slideshow that can kind of give us some different scenarios here. So most of us are silver or gold ambassadors on our team, and one of the things that really helped me on my Plexus journey is analyzing my points. I know a lot of you know that I was a high school math teacher, and so I love numbers, and I love to see the nitty-gritty to my team. Where did I end last month? How did I grow last month? And where can I project myself to be this next month? Because if we're pushing for a rank and we're pushing too early, not only can we get burnt out, but our team can get burnt out. And we also need to be smart about growing our team in those in-between times, especially between silver and gold, because that's often not a 1 month turnaround. If you turn silver in November, unless you added massive amounts of people in November, you're probably not going to go gold in December. And so that's okay. But we need to have realistic expectations, but we also need to know how to push our team so that they can also duplicate and rank up as well. So I'm going to share with you this first scenario, and I want you to take note on the side, this 411. I don't know if you can see my little mouse, but these are your key points that you want to always keep in mind, is how many points do you need to get to each rank? Because at the end of the month, that's what matters. It doesn't matter if you have 50 people on your team. It matters if you have 100 points. It doesn't matter if they're all 1 through 3s or you have a deeper team. What matters are the points. And so, like my team is very deep on my one leg of Janelle Espling. I have a level 14. So I don't get paid on half of those people as far as pay points. And so I have to focus on levels 1 through 7. And we're going to talk a little bit about what compression is and things like that, because as your team grows, those things happen. So I'm going to take it kind of slow, and we're going to focus on somebody that's a silver ambassador working towards gold, because I know most of you guys are, and look at 2 different scenarios. So to turn gold, we need 100 points. So let's take this hypothetical ambassador. I made this person up. This is not somebody's actual points, but you always want to look at your points at the very end of last month. So last week I talked about your best friend, your planner. I write down my points. I write them down on the 24th, right before auto qualification day 1. I write down where I'm at, like around 10, 11 o'clock at night, Central Time. And then I write down my points again on the 25th, the very first auto qual day, because that way I get a judgment each month about how many points I'm adding on that first auto qual day. I write down my points again on the 27th, again late at night, and then I write my points down on the 28th, which is the second auto qual day, and then I write them down at the last day of the month. So I can see that growth between the 24th and the end of the month, because a lot of times as your team grows, the most of your points are going to be from that time period. And it kind of gives you an idea of, okay, I'm getting this many points each month. So this person here, they are a silver ambassador, and let's say that they ended the month of November with 65 points, and they are obviously going for gold. So they need 35 more points to hit gold. So they want to not just look at just that 35 points. They want to look at where they ended. They also want to look at how many people did they add last month. And I don't mean like just number of people, I mean points. And when you count your people, you want to make sure they have their auto qualification on. If they don't have their auto qualification on, they're going to be inactive for this next month, and you will not get points for them. So I do not even count them. I reach out to these people if they're my level ones, or I reach out to their sponsor and let them know, hey, so-and-so signed up last month. They don't have their auto qualification on. Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes it's not. So these 30 points, this can be anybody levels 1 through 3, a level 4, it doesn't matter. But let's say this ambassador added 30 points in November. So as it sits right now, they're almost to gold. They will end at 95 points. Now, this is where you have to bring in your logic and say, is it possible this month to add more than one person and for more than one person to hit over their 100 PV? Looking at the fact that this person added quite a few people last month, I would say yes, push for gold. Gold is a great goal to make this month and to go for. And so let's say that this month she added 20 points. She only needs 5 points to hit gold. So chances are she can get, or he can get, one level 1 through 3 to hit those 5 points to give her that 100 points. But you want to see how many possible points. This ambassador has a possibility of having 115 points. That is, if every single new ambassador hits, and these new ambassadors that were added last month that have their auto qualification on, they are expected to meet their 100 PV. And so you really want to focus on these top 2 numbers. These top 2 add up to 95, which is very, very close to 100. And so that's why it's a good idea to go ahead and push for that rank of gold. When you're pushing for a rank, it's very good to reach out to these new ambassadors, doing a contest maybe of going over their 100 PV, or reaching out to your upline, because a lot of times encouraging people, getting them started in their business, can help them grow their business, help these new people go silver. Silver is that first step. How great would it be for a brand new ambassador, these 20 points here, how great would it be for them to go silver and earn a bonus their first month? So just because you're projecting to hit gold does not mean you stop building your team, you stop encouraging your team to rank. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. You cannot just arrive at this destination and expect your team to do it. You have to encourage. Let's take a look at a different ambassador. Let's say this ambassador had the same points ending last month, November, 65 points. This ambassador, though, only added 10 points. So last month, they added, let's say, 2 new level 2s. So that's 10 more points. That gives you a projection of only 75 points. You're still 25 points away, and that's more points than you added in the previous month. So would it be a good idea to project to gold this month? No. You're going to spend a lot of time and possibly money pushing for a rank that probably is not feasible. What you should do is focus on adding new people to get those points for the following month. So let's say this is real time and it's December. What I would advise this ambassador to do is challenge their team, their downline, to go silver, adding 3 people to add those points for January to go gold. Okay? So let's say it's now the 28th, we're getting close to the end, and she added 15 points. She's still 10 points away. And this is if every single new ambassador has hit this month of December. And I know when you're so close, only 10 points away, it's really easy to think, well, I've got inactive people. I can bring them back. And I'm going to tell you from experience, it's easier to give birth than raise from the dead. What that means is it is easier for you to sign new people than it is to try to get inactive people to come back. So what I would advise you to do is to try to sign more people. So let's say, so this person, you know, if you add up all, oh, I forgot to change the bottom. Sorry, I was messing with this earlier. Even if you're projected to end exactly at 100 points, that's too close for comfort, because what if somebody doesn't hit their 100 PV? You don't want to pay away your bonus helping people hit their 100 PV. It is better to fly past it and be closer to this senior gold mark than barely make gold, if you understand what I'm saying. So what I want us to keep in mind are these key points. These are like the Bible when it comes to ranking, I think, when it comes to projecting your points. It really helps to cut down on the frustration, and it gives you a bigger picture for that roadmap we created last week. So number one thing is keep track of your points, like I had said earlier. You have got to know how many people you added and what levels they are the month previous. Now, when I say compression, what I mean by that is I have a level 1 who I'm signed. She signed somebody who is now inactive, and that person signed somebody. So my level 3, because this level 2 is inactive, compresses up to a level 2. So that means on my back office, even though it says level 4, because of compression, I actually get 5 points from my level 4s on that leg because they compress up to a level 3 because my level 2 is inactive. If you want, I can talk a little bit more about compression on a different video, because that can take up a lot of time. But you also need to know how many people you need to add for this next month. That's why I said that key, knowing how many points you need, is very, very pivotal. As you grow, especially if your team ends up being like mine, where it's very deep, you want to focus on your levels 1 through 3s. Not only do they give you the most points, but they're going to grow your outside leg, and so you're going to be able to move up faster. So I kind of like right now where I'm at, because Janelle's leg is so deep and it's so huge, we have all broken off from one another as far as my 1 through 3 page is just for my 1 through 3s outside of her leg to grow those people. It is better for you to go over the required points. In other words, that person we looked at that they were barely going to make gold with 100 points, it's better to do that, to go past it, to say, I'm going to push for it next month and surpass, I'm going to blow my goal out of the water. Because what if you barely make it by 100 points and then you really didn't add enough people during this month, new people, to keep that rank? So you have to continually challenge your team to grow. And so incentives are good, but don't ever give away more than your bonus. The gold bonus is $250. Don't give incentives for newbies to hit or people to sign that are going to exceed $250, because then what was the point of ranking? Because your bonus, you just spent it to get there, and sometimes people have spent more. You want to account for attrition, which is what I was saying about making sure you sign enough people to keep moving forward. Attrition means, let's say you signed 3 level 1 through 3s this month in December, but by the end of the month you had 4 level 1 through 3s turn off. So even though you signed new people, you added 15 points, but you lost 20. So your net goal is -5. That's attrition. So you want to keep making sure that you are adding more than you are losing. Don't lose heart if people turn off their auto qual or quit. Remember, you cannot take everybody to the top. This business opportunity is not for everybody. People are going to say, I want to be emerald, I want to be diamond, I want to go to Hawaii, but really they don't want to put in the work to get there. And so you're going to have those people that are going to fall off, and it's okay. Don't spend too much energy on trying to drag everybody to the top, because you can't. And so that's why I feel like this next point is so important. Focus on your leaders and duplication. On my team of over 3,000 people, I know exactly who my leaders are. I know exactly who's going to be in it for the long haul, and I know exactly who is going to make it to the top. I know that there are other people that want to and who want to get there, but maybe don't have the training. That's fine. I will train them. I have people that say they want to get to the top, but they have excuses as to why they can't do it. So be careful who you pour into, because you cannot take everybody to the top. There's people that want it but may not have the skills, and so those are the people you need to equip and help get to. And then the last point is so important, and I know we talk about this, it's the power of 3. If you wrote down those key points, you'll see that as the ranks get higher, your points get higher. And the easiest way to move up the ranks from gold to senior gold to ruby to senior ruby to emerald to sapphire to diamond is by utilizing the power of 3. And so what that is this is a graphic I have posted before, but it kind of breaks it down. I want you to see how powerful this is. Let's say you just have 3 people, just 3. You only signed 3 ambassadors, and you have taught each of your people to duplicate the power of 3 of continuing to sign 3 people. Now, as you work down to 7 levels, you can see that not only do you have 3,279 people, but you are now have the amount of points to be a diamond ambassador. You have 4,893 points. That's just with 3 ambassadors. So if you can imagine, I know many of you have 20 ambassadors direct to you. This is why we say build wide so that they can build deep, because not every one of these 3 people is going to duplicate what you do. But the ones that do, that has such exponential power, and that will blow past those ranks. And so you want to continually find 3 people. Who do you know? You also want to continue to add to your team 3 people. There are some months that it's hard to find 3 people, but I never stop sowing those seeds, and then the next month they are ready to jump on board. So you want to make sure you are modeling this as well as training your team. But you can see the exponential power. You end up with 15 points just with 3 people, which then grows to 45, 135, 324, 729, that's almost senior ruby, 1458, that's almost emerald, and then 4893. So such amazing power in the power of 3. One of the ways that you can help make this work is by doing Zoom calls with your team and your upline. I've been doing strategy 3 ways with some of my team this past week. Maybe get on the phone or instant messenger or Facebook Messenger, whatever. The power of 3 is just so powerful. It's not something that should be passed up. So what I would like to do is open it up if anybody has any questions. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay. So I want you to challenge this next week. I know it's Christmas and all that, but I want you to start thinking about January. How you can implement what we went over. Think about where you're at. Take note of where your points are on the Christmas Eve. I mean, if you have to, just take a snapshot with your phone. That's what I usually do. And then write it down later. Take a picture, write it down on the 25th on Christmas morning or whenever auto calls are done. Usually I take it around noon. And start putting this into practice so you can see your growth. Because it is kind of cool to see that too. So I'm going to take a picture so everybody smile and wave.
Wait, I'm not on.
All right.
Do it again.
Oh, there's Donna.
Yay.
Smile and wave. You guys are awesome. We'll do one more training next Sunday. And if you have anything you would like to be us to focus on, just shoot me a message. And we'll go from there. So everybody have a Merry Christmas, and I am
Thank you.
thankful
Merry
for all of
Christmas,
you.
Jamie.
And we'll see you guys later.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.